Hey, it's Rob from Dowdle Family Farms. It's the beginning of August. I planted these soybeans about a week and a half ago. I just broadcast the seed onto this old pasture. In this area here, I disked them in. After they were disked over, it rained, a couple times, 3 or 4 days apart. So the soybeans, even though they weren't planted as deep as soybeans often are, there was enough soil moisture with those rains and just a little bit of soil over the soybeans that they sprouted really well. My guess is that in 6 or 8 weeks that these soybeans will be up tall enough that we can turn the pigs in here and graze them real quick. These are actually a grain soybean rather than a forage soybean, so they won't produce quite as much vegetation, so you can tell that the plants are seeded very, very close together, but that's quite all right. They'll produce a lot of biomass. I'm not trying to produce grain. In fact, I'll turn the pigs in here to eat the soybean forage before they actually go reproductive. This is only my first year growing soybeans. I planted some earlier in the year, but my guess is that we won't have enough hot weather for them to actually become reproductive this late in the year. But either way, I'll put the pigs in here. Soybean seed can have a growth inhibitor. That's why they're typically roasted or processed with some kind of heat before they're mixed with feed. My guess is that there's an acre or so of them. I've not measured it, but you can see the fence line right here that we've put up. Right over there is a 6-acre wooded paddock that's fenced in. But about a week later, so this past Saturday, I broadcast more soybeans over here. And you can see the line where that was disked and this was tilled. It's a light, but I actually, Saturday night in the rain, we got about 1.5 inches of rain, and I broadcast these and then kind of tilled them in. It'll be another several days, I think, before we start seeing sprouts from these soybeans, but I suspect that they will do as well as those over there have. All total, I'm guessing that there's 2.5 acres or so of soybeans that were planted or planted relatively well. We'll see, it may only be 1.5 acres, but it'll provide some good fall protein for our growing pigs. This is not a permanent field for soybeans, of course. It's been pasture, it's really degraded land and has been very unproductive. So this fall I'll plant ryegrass and a balanza clover. We may do a ladino type clover, but some kind of tall white clover in here so that we can turn the pigs loose in the spring in here. So it's Rob from Dowdle Family Farms, just showing you where we planted these soybeans.